episode of the Disability Show. Live. Alright, this week I want to talk about Shades of Green. Now, for those of you who don't know, Shades of Green is the military resort on Walt Disney World property across the street from the Polynesian. And it's a fun and beautiful resort. We love it. It has great pools and some great food as well. However, our two favorite parts of the resorts are no longer there. One of them being the dinner buffet, which we used to love every night. But they didn't bring it back after the pandemic, because which I think is a bad business decision, but at least they're making money with their pizza delivery, with their pizza orders. But I do wish they would bring the dinner buffet back, because it was one of the most relaxing parts of staying at that hotel. And the other thing that was unfortunately taken away from us was the walkway that used to allow you to walk across the street to the Polynesian, which was the point where you could easily get to the Magic Kingdom by either walking, by boating, or taking the monorail. But unfortunately, Disney construction, I should say, has taken that precious walkway away from us. But despite all that, if you are a proud member of our U.S. military or retired member of our U.S. military, thank you for your service. And if you're planning on going to Disney, I highly recommend Shades of Green. So anyway, that's my tip. As always, if you have any questions on how to do Disney for people with disabilities, let me know in the chat if you're watching this live, or in the comments if you're watching this later, and I'll make sure it gets into a future episode. And now it's time for this week's Top 5. So, at the Disneyland Resort, Disney's California Adventure is clearly their Pixar park, because that's where most of their Pixar attractions are. So this week, we are going to cover my top 5 Pixar rides at Disney's California Adventure. Number 5, Luigi's Rollickin' Roadsters. Now, this is a fun little kiddie ride where you get to ride in one of Luigi's dancing cousins. But it does get a little dizzy on it. So, if you have a thing with getting dizzy on rides, either sit this one out or take something. Number 4, Monsters Inc. Mike and Sully to the Rescue. Now, this is a fun little family ride through the story of Monsters Inc. Where of course, the part where Mike and Sully try to get Boo home. And it's a fun little ride, especially for the kids. And I'm not sure how long it's going to be around because of the word of the Avengers Campus expansion. But who knows? But it's still a fun ride. And it's great for the little ones. Number 3, Mater's Junkyard Jamboree. Now, this is another great ride where you ride in one of the tractors that Mater has rounded up. And as it's spinning around, you hear Mater singing, which is very funny. And it's so much fun. And I'll even say it. It's better than alien swirling saucers. I'll say that. Number two, Toy Story Mania. So this is of course, is a ride that we always do, not only at California Adventure, but also especially at Hollywood Studios. But it is a fun, not only a great ride, but it's also oh, features the competitiveness of a video game, and it's so much fun. I always go for the big targets because I always try to beat my dad's high score, which only works if my mom and I are when my mom and I are riding together. And it's still fun. And my number one Pixar ride at Disney's California Adventure, Radiator Springs Racers. Now, this is perhaps the the superior to Test Track because it has more theming, it has more banked turns, banked hills and stuff, and it's very competitive having in cars on the track against one another, and it makes me excited for the new rally race cars ride that's coming to the Magic Kingdom. But still, Radiator Springs Racers is the best, no question about it. So anyway, let me know in the chat or in the comments what your favorite Pixar ride is at Disney's California Adventure. And now it is time for Diz or Dat. So on both coasts, they do their characters differently. At Disneyland, the characters are free roaming, which makes it a lot easier for guests, especially the littler guests, to meet and greet with them, which is perfect. As opposed to Walt Disney World, where you would have to wait in line to meet a character, and sometimes those lines go on for hours. So it's clear that I think that Disneyland is better with the characters, with the way they do characters. But let me know in the comment and or in the chat which coast you think has the better character experience. Disneyland, or DAT, Walt Disney World. So, and now it's trivia time. So last week we asked which land is the Big Thunder Mountain Railroad in. Viewer Patricia Dawson answered in the chat last week, Frontierland. And she got 100 cool points for that. So here is this week's trivia time question. What are the names of Cinderella's stepsisters? Be the first person to answer correctly, and you will receive 100 cool points. So, Disney has started putting out a casting call for performers for their upcoming Disney Starlight Parade, which is the new nighttime parade that is going to be premiering next summer at the Magic Kingdom. I am generally excited for this because the Magic Kingdom hasn't had a nighttime parade in over a decade since they had the Main Street Electrical Parade. Now, of course, I really, 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 really wanted Paint the Night at the Magic Kingdom, but unfortunately their floats are too complex for the Main Street in Florida. But I'm glad this new nighttime parade is going to be coming because the the Magic Kingdom really needs it. I mean, you gotta have something to keep the guests occupied while they're waiting for the fireworks. And it and I cannot wait to see this parade. I can already tell it's going to be a huge hit, and it'll already pay homage to the Main Street Electrical Parade with the Blue Fairy leading the way. So we'll just have to wait and see how amazing this parade is really going to be when it hits Main Street next summer. So anyway, that's our show. As I said, if you have any questions on how to do Disney for people with disabilities, let me know in the chat if you're watching this live, or in the comments if you're watching this later, and I'll make sure it gets into a future episode. For this week's shout-outs, make sure you guys check out my buddy Beth over at Beth's Disney Adventures. She has 3 streams coming up this week. On Tuesday, she is going to be live from the Not-So-Scary Halloween Party. On Wednesday, she is going live at the Character Warehouse in Vinland, in the Vinland area. And on Thursday, she is going to be giving out magical moments for Talk Like a Pirate Day. So definitely check those streams out. Also, make sure you guys check out my buddy Mike over at Chasing Magic. He does awesome vlogs from the parks. Definitely check him out. Also, make sure you guys check out Samantha Lowe. I'm sure she has started doing videos of the concerts from Food and Wine. Definitely check her out. Also, make sure you guys check out Princess and the Bear. They do great food vlogs from the parks all the time. Definitely check them out as well. If you have not subscribed here yet to the Big John Network, what in the Walt Disney World are you waiting for? And ding the bell for notifications so you never miss a second of the fun. And until next time, Quaharine.